Revive. I am. How's that? Is that better? Okay, there we go. I know what you want because I want it too. You want to be more mobile, more flexible, more alive, more revived, and you want to be less stiff, less sore, less old feeling, right? We all want that. Let's let that magic happen. Let's let it happen. The mic's working. Life is good. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is where you don't sweat it, no intimidation zone. You do it your way. Today's practice is 1 hour long. It's all down on the mat. You can do it. Come on, just try. That's the big thing. But whatever you do, do what's right for your body. Don't hurt. If something hurts, don't do it. Back out of it. Give yourself permission to do a pose to a lesser percentage. Give yourself permission to not do a pose at all. But just try, little by little. Try maybe 1%. Just try. That's how you will reach your goals. Just don't hurt. You can do this. You got it. The word to think about as you practice is revive. Revive means to renew, to restore, to bring back, to activate. Activate sounds good. To set in motion and to take up again. We got to take up things again and again and again. Just stick with it. To help you stick with it, we've got some props today. Some props we're going to use are, we always have our eye shade and our towel. Towel is great for slipping under your knees and for final Shavasana if you don't have that wonderful little eye pillow. A couple of blocks, yoga blocks. We kind of use these just about every day, from our restorative practice to our yin practice to our vinyasa practice. We use the blocks a lot, so have some. I've also mentioned recently a half size, not even really a half size. It's just a little smaller block. And the idea with the smaller block is that it gives you that extra little space to take a pose deeper. And it allows you to just learn, to continue your practice, improving and just, shaking it up a bit. Water, always like to have that, and a strap. You can use that if you wish. I was doing it during the countdown a little bit just to show how you could use it if you want to use it, but you don't have to use it. Let's get started. Lock in a stress number. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, where are you? And we're going to bring that stress number down, especially in our legs up the wall pose. So kind of be near a wall too. If you're not near a wall, you can do your legs on a chair or on the block. All right, stress number, come on down, get comfortable, get seated. Just be here and just do what you can. All right, in your seated position today, how do you want to be? Maybe your legs are long, maybe they're crisscrossed. Today, I'm going to sit on my block. I'm going to sit on the smaller one. I'm going to sit kind of right on the edge. Just going to tip my hips a little forward. Then I'm going to sit in that Sukhasana pose. Remember this one? It's called easy pose also. What it is it's crisscrossing your legs, bringing one foot up on top, and then bringing the bottom foot up too, if you can, if you want. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Settle. Breathe in through your nose, and sigh it out through your mouth. Close your eyes. Get comfortable however you're seated. Breathe in, breathe out. Now don't make the mistake of thinking this is a super comfortable pose. It's a big external rotation of the hips. It's not super comfortable, but at the same time, it's not painful. As long as it's not painful, you're good to go. If it's painful, come out of it and find another way to sit. Hands on your knees, deep breath in. Sighing breath out through your mouth. Making it audible makes a difference. Think about how when you're under stress, you sigh. Let it go. Let's lift our arms up to the sky. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. Just lift in your extended mountain pose, Tadasana in the arms. Now start to climb. Send one arm higher than the other. Little bend in the opposite elbow. Just move. Just move. That's what we're doing now. Just moving. Feel the whole stretch and just be mindful of what you're feeling. Feel the entire stretch up and down the side that's reaching all the way down to your hips. Just breathe, stretch, no right or wrong. The only wrong is if it hurts. Breathe, stretch. Let's finish. Bring your arms down by your sides. Bring them down to touch the ground or use a block to bring the ground up to you. Foundational arm in one hand and then reach through the opposite and then cross the midline of your body. You can have your hand on your block, hand on the ground, nothing fancy. Do what works. That's the ticket. Reach through your fingertips across the midline of your body. Keep both bottom cheeks down on your mat. Don't let the right one pop up as you lean to the left. Breathe. Adjust your elbow a little bit if you want to deepen this stretch. Just find what works for you. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder back, stretch it out. Finish. Just come back slowly to the midline. Plant the other hand, lift the other arm, and do the same thing on the other side. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth, let the stress go. You shouldn't have any stress. You should be enjoying your yoga. Little bend in the foundational elbow maybe. Reach through the fingertips, really reach. Shoulder back, chin away from your chest. Nice big stretch, isn't it? In and out with the breath. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. Let it go. Slowly come back up to center. Lift both arms up to the sky. Take a little back bend. Exhale. Hinge forward. Palms come down to the ground or to your block. Press the block. Push the block forward or walk your hands forward. Big breath in. Big sign breath out. No stress here. Into the nose. Out through the mouth. Your breath is so important. Walk your fingers on back. You come back to that seated position. Shoulders over your hips. Interlace your fingers behind your low back. So your fingers are interlaced behind your low back. Your thumb is kind of pressed into your tailbone. Send your shoulders back. Now send your knuckles down to the ground as you think of your chest lifting. Open up. Take a deep breath and just enjoy this sensation, this feeling. Get into the shoulders. Let it feel good. Big breath in. Big breath out. Release your hands to your knees. This is pretty good so far, isn't it? How you feeling? Move your shoulders. All right, neck. Let's do it. Circle your neck. Circle your neck. And let it feel good. If it doesn't feel good, don't circle your neck. Just lift up through the crown of your head. So make neck circles. Move your head around whichever way feels good on your shoulders. You got a good head on your shoulders. Use it. Move it. Finish up. Head back at the midline. Turn your neck in one direction or the other. I'm going to turn my neck, let's say, to the left. Then I am going to take my left hand, lift it up, take my 2 peace fingers and place it on the outside of my right jaw. And I'm going to twist. The fingers are there just to encourage the twist a little deeper. Maybe the eyes are closed, or maybe you open your eyes and look over your shoulder. Soften in both shoulders. Slowly finish, come back to the midline. Take a big inhale, lengthen up because you want to find that space, right? Soften, soften. Soften feels good, doesn't it? All right, turn in the other direction. Turn your head to the right. Lift your right hand up. Peace be with you. Bring those peace fingers to the outside of your left jaw. Turn, turn, turn. Look, look, look. Or not. Eyes can be closed as you focus inward. But turn your neck. And then finish. Slowly come back to the midline of your body. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Lift your arms up high to the sky. Tadasana, extended mountain pose. Bend your elbow. I'm going to bend my left one. Take your right hand, hug it in. Hug the elbow in close to your ear. Give yourself a pat on the back. Breathe. Breathe, pat on the back, hug it in. Feel the nice stretch. Up the tricep from the armpit all the way up to your elbow. And then finish. Release your arms, send them up. Tadasana, extended mountain arms. Bend the opposite elbow. Hug it in towards your ear. Hug it in. Use the other hand. Really hug it in. Pat yourself on the back. As we add up more birthdays, as we have the pleasure of going around this planet again, don't slow down. Don't think it's inevitable. I'm getting older. I got to slow down. We need to keep moving so we can keep moving. The older you get, the more you got to move. And you get the time to do it. So enjoy it. All right, release the arms. Send them high up to the sky. Big breath in. Hands to prayer center if you just have this moment of gratitude for your ability to move today. All right, got another side to do. Switch your legs out. Come out of it slowly. Oh my goodness, come out of it slowly. Your mind has been off your hips, but they've been working hard. They've been stretching out. That's what we're after. flexibility and mobility. Change your legs so the opposite leg is on top. You know, you can always use those blocks to slip under the top knee. You decide. Did I say around the planet, Dwayne? I said around the planet. I meant around the sun. Another trip around the sun. What a blessing to make those trips. Right, Sherry? This is your birthday month. I know. All right, arms lift. Extend in mountain pose. Trip around the planet, trip around the sun. It's all good. Reach, climb, breathe, breathe. Breathe. Maybe you're traveling around the planet. That's good. All right, so you're stretching. Stretch. Climb. Stretch. Feel good. All right, hands come down. Maybe bring them to your knees. Take a big breath in. And a big shoulder softening breath out. Let it go. All right, side bend. Place one hand down on your block or on your mat. Lift the other arm high and stretch while you're here. Cross the midline of your body. The other hand plants on the block or the earth and cross the midline. That foundational elbow, adjust it. Chin away from the chest. Top shoulder back. Breathe. What feels good? Just breathe here. Stretch in through the nose. Stress goes out through the mouth. We're going to bring that stress number so down today. And if not today, we'll do it tomorrow in the restorative practice. Thursdays and Sundays, we restore. Talk about a practice where you really get into the poses, really get into your breath and breathe. All right, come on back up. Fingers high to the sky, lengthen up. Soften up through the shoulders. Other side, use the block or just your hand. Reach and then stretch. Top shoulder, remember, bring it back. Chin away from your chest. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Esther. Welcome back. We're going to do legs up the wall today. First, Sherry. How you doing? Lori, Scott, Christy, Stan. Christy, how are you? Lynn, Liz, Mary Jo, Tina, Rena, Tim, Steve, Jim. You guys, glad you're here. Keep breathing, and I'm sure you're glad you're here too because you feel so good. All right, finish up. Oh my gosh, arms back up, high to the sky. Breathe. Let's do a little back bend. Your hands can come to your low back. They can come down to the earth. Lift your chest up to the sky. Chin too. Stretch out your neck. Exhale. Let's do the forward fold this time. Reach your fingers toward the top of your mat or use your block underneath your fingers. Do what you can. Quit being critical of yourself. What you're doing is amazing. You showed up. That's a big deal. In through the nose, stress out through the mouth. Slide the hands back, slide the arms back. You got it. Neck work here. Lengthen up. Hands can be on your knees. Circle your neck. Move it around. Move it around. Or if it doesn't feel good, lengthen up through the crown of your head and soften up through your shoulders. The little crunchies in your neck are okay as long as they don't hurt. Just move. You may like to keep your eyes open. I know some of you have vertigo when you do this. So maybe the eyes stay open. All right, so you moved your head, moved it around. Let's do those peace nudges again. Turn your head to one direction. The direction to which you're turning, take the peace fingers of that hand and place them on the opposite jaw. Turn, twist, peace fingers gently give you a nudge. Back to center, nice and slowly. Lengthen up with both arms up to the sky. Reach. Hands come down to your knees. Other side. Turn your head in the other direction. Gentle peace fingers. Just gentle. Gentle nudge. Not huge, not big. Just gentle. Let it go. Let all the tension go. No tension in your shoulders. Your hips are working on themselves because your mind is off of them. Take your mind off of them, even though I brought it back. Let it go. Come back to the midline of your body. Elbows reach high, hands reach high to the sky. Bend one elbow. Hug that elbow in towards your ear. Give yourself a pat on the back for being here. You're doing it. You can do it. Breathe. Pat on the back. Pat on the back. Hug it in. Let it feel good. Arms go up, high to the sky. Same thing, Tadasana arms. Opposite elbow bends. Hug it in to your ear. Pat yourself on the back. You got it. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. We need to move. You don't want to be immobile, right? You've got to move. You got to keep moving. Keep moving. It makes you feel better. Reach through your fingers. High to the sky. Give them a wiggle. Hands down to your knees. How are you doing? That was a lot. How do your shoulders feel? Got a lot of mobility there now, don't we? And your hips, oh my gosh, yes you do. Come on out of it, nice and slowly. Oh, bring the legs away. Let's go into a child's pose with our blocks scooted to the top of the mat. All right, come down to your knees. Here's what you can do. Remember, you've got the multiple height blocks. If you want, I'd buy one. They're not very expensive. Buy it just to add, to refine your practice, because it's fun to do little things that are just different. Knees can be together, big toes can be together, hips can go back toward your heels. They don't have to sit on your heels, it's up to you. Arms can be down by your sides with your palms face up, and your forehead can come to your block. Or maybe you've been doing that for a while, and you say, I want to go all the way to the mat. That's fine, but maybe your forehead just can't reach the mat. Ta-da, that's the reason for this little smaller block. Maybe that's the next incremental step for you. Palms face up, reaching down toward the bottom of your mat as you lengthen through your spine. And you know the alternative, the one I prefer, is knees spread wide, big toes touch, hips back to the heels, arms reaching to the top of the mat, maybe arms reach to be placed on the blocks to get into the shoulders a little bit more. You could always use a block under your forehead or not. Lengthen here. Think of length from the crown of your head through your tailbone. So the crown of your head is reaching to the top of your mat, and your forehead is on your mat or your block. Length here in the spine. Big breath in. Remember those big sighing breaths out. You can keep doing that, or you can close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose. It's the most efficient way to breathe, and it helps you build heat in your body, and it helps you focus on your breath. Focus inward, nothing wrong with that. We have so many outside distractions vying for our attention all the time. Turn off the noise and turn inward. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the nose. Stay here in your child's pose longer if you like. Really try to hollow out your belly on a full exhale. And as you're doing that, think of your tailbone going more to the back of the room. How does it feel? Soften in your jaws. Come back to this child's pose anytime you like. It's your practice. You do it your way. You do what feels best for you. And every day is different, so do what's right. If you would like to come out of your child's pose, I'm going to do a toes pose and an ankle flow next. Come on out. Gently come on out. Come to a standing on your knees position. You can bring those two blocks by your side. As you're standing on your knees, tuck your toes under. This is the beginning of your toes pose. You can sit your hips on back to your heels. If that is painful, don't do it. Maybe take it to a lesser percentage. Maybe use one of your blocks to have a seat upon. I'm going to sit on my heels because I'm going to flow this between toes pose and ankle pose. They're complementary poses, kind of like cat-cow is, where you move in a flexion in one range of motion, then you move in a extension in the other. All right, so you're pressing into your toes. Let it feel good. You've got your blocks by your sides, maybe press into them. And then take it to your ankle pose. Put the tops of your feet on your mat, using your blocks, walk on back, knees come up, but they stay together, and you rest on the tops of your feet. And you flow this back and forth a few times to how feels good for you. Maybe you stay in the ankle pose a little bit longer and press it a little further into the tops of your feet. Maybe you say, I need toes pose today, so I'm going to stay in my toes pose a little bit longer. You can press into the blocks or no blocks at all. Hands to prayer center if you like. Soften in the shoulders, breathe. And you're going back and forth, right? Toes pose, ankle pose, however feels good. You can challenge your balance a little bit by not using the blocks. And do one more cycle for me. Breathe. Just enjoy the moment. Know that you're strengthening your foundation. Breathe. You can always have your hands down by your sides as little kickstands. I got that. Breathe. Big breath in, big breath out. And, let it go. Let it go. Let go of the it should look like this, or I gotta do more, or I should be doing this instead. Let it go. You're right where you need to be. All right, come onto a neutral tabletop. Lift your feet up. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Tap your feet out on your mat. Maybe circle your ankles in both directions. Don't forget they need some love too. And then when you're ready, come on down to a pentacle pose. Come down to your back. Oh, that sounds good. Pentacle pose. Legs are long on your mat. Arms go high overhead. Stretch it out in a big capital letter X shape. Let your pinky toes fall toward the mat. Hips are open. Palms are facing up toward the sky. You're a big capital letter X. Let's go to stick pose. Bring your legs in so they're long on your mat. Bring your arms up, palms touching overhead. You look like a big number 1. Stretch it here. Point your toes, reach through your fingers. Breathe. Walk your feet to the right corner of your mat for Banana Asana. Walk your hands to the right corner of the mat too. Breathe. Big breath in and big breath out. Keep both hips down. Keep both shoulders down. You look like a banana if someone were to look down on you. Breathe. Every banana has a different curve, right? So just breathe. Feel that good stretch on your left side. Bring your arms and your legs back to the midline of your body. Bend your right knee, hug your right knee in with interlaced fingers beneath it. If it just doesn't quite reach, you can find your little hand towel. Hand towel underneath the right knee. Hug the right knee in towards your chest. Circle the right ankle around and around in both directions. Got the knee hugged in. Let's now do a supine twist. Oh, good. We get to do it early. Left hand on your right knee. Cross the midline of your body. Right shoulder stays down. Right arm tees out. Look to the right as best you can. Nice big twist here in the waist. Come on back. Hip comes down. Knee goes back up to the sky. Hug it in one more time. Circle the ankle again. Around and around in both directions. Right leg goes long on your mat. Stretch it out in a pentacle pose. Pentacle pose. Breathe. Hands and legs come back together as you come into stick pose. Point your toes to the bottom of the mat. Reach your fingers to the top. When you're ready, from your stick pose, shall we go further on this side? We'll just repeat it on the other side. Bring your left heels to the bottom left corner of your mat. Bring your fingers to the top left corner of your mat. Keep your right shoulder down. Breathe, find length here. Big stretch in the right side of your body. Breathe in your Banana Asana pose. How do you like Banana Asana? We do this sometimes standing also, and that's kind of called a half crescent moon. So breathe here. Bring your feet back to the midline. Bring your hands back to the midline. Bend your left knee this time. Interlaced fingers go under the left knee as you hug it in. Remember, you could use the towel too. Hug it in. Nice and tight. Your hips love you. Circle the ankle one direction. Circle the ankle other direction. Right hand guides the left knee across the midline of the body. Breathe. Left arm tees out. Look to the left. Left shoulder stays down. Bring the left hip back down to the earth. Bring the knee up to the sky. Hug it in, hug it in. Ankle circles. And breathe. You got it. You did it. Legs come down. Come back to a stick pose. Stretch it out. Breathe. Come back to a pentacle pose. Open up. Big breath in. Big breath out, let it go. Arms down by your sides, feet come back together. Let's press on up and let's come into a tabletop position. All right, just a little foreshadowing of what's to come. You can do this, you can try it, see how you like it. If you don't like it, take your own modification. So you're in a neutral tabletop, knees underneath hips, shoulders over your wrists. Tuck your toes toward your shins. From here, let's just lift our knees up and then down. Up and down a few times. You do as many times as is right for you. I'm going to do about 10. Elbows are under the shoulders are over the wrists. Lift and lower, kind of a bear plank or a crouching tiger. All right, your core is engaged, you're strong. You got it. Let's finish up. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Not too bad, right? Tops of your feet on your mat. Let's do cat-cow. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Inhale, cow, the complementary pose. Remember we talked about that in toes pose. Crown of the head lifts, tailbone lifts. Do a couple cat-cows. Let it feel good. You got to get your spine moving. And marry your breath to this. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. All right, how are you liking your cat-cow? Stick with it just a little bit longer, then we're going to add a little variation. Neutral tabletop. Extend your right leg long. Press the ball of your right foot into your mat. Feel the nice calf stretch. Push here into your hands. Push into the ball of your foot. When you're ready, lift the leg up, cross it across the midline of your body, hug high in the upper inner thighs, push into your hands equally, look over your left shoulder. As you look over your left shoulder, maybe you look all the way back to your left foot or your right foot on the left side of your body, or you look to your knee or your bottom. Finish up, let that right leg come all the way around, swing it up and around, maybe bring the foot to about hip height. Right arm lifts, open up to the sky. Breathe. Hand comes down, foot comes back, knees meet on your mat. Other side, left leg extends, ball of the foot on the mat. Push into the ball of the foot, push into your hands, nice calf stretch. Breathe. Left leg is extended, let it cross the midline of your body. Squeeze in the upper inner thighs. Place the top of the left foot down on the right side of your body and look to the right. Can you look to your foot? Can you look to your ankle? Can you look to your knee? Can you look to your bottom? Breathe. Sweep the left leg around, bring it to about hip height or whatever works for you on this side. Lift your left arm up, breathe. Left arm comes down, knees come back to meet on your mat. Do a cycle of cat-cow. And then finish in a neutral tabletop, crown of the head lengthening, tailbone lengthening, bird dog pose. For your bird dog pose, lift your right leg up. Lift your knee to about hip height and then extend your right leg long. Drive the heel to the back of your mat. Press into your hands. You can stay right here. I'm going to add in the left arm, the opposite arm, and reach through my fingers. Thumb up like a hitchhiker, fingers spread wide, pressing the ground away. You can keep it here, hold it here, or you can tuck the left elbow and the right knee underneath your navel and have them touch and reach and touch and reach. Maybe you take it even farther, taking the left hand underneath the right knee. Have your nose come toward your knee. Maybe it touches, maybe not. You do whatever works today. And then finish. Right knee down, left hand down. We have another side to do. Left leg lifts, knee to hip height. Left leg extends long. Press into the earth. Holding here is perfect. Stay here if this is where you like. Breathe. Maybe add in the right arm. Breathe. Lift. Lengthen. Press the earth away. Elbow to knee a couple times if you like that option. Remember to breathe. Don't skimp on your extensions. Maybe the hand captures under the knee and you tuck knee to nose and reach. Maybe knee to nose and reach. Finish up however you like. Come back to your neutral tabletop. In your neutral tabletop, take your cycle of cat-cow. Breathe. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Extend your right leg long. Press into the ball of your foot like you did a moment ago. Shoulders are over your wrists. Maybe tuck your left toes towards your shin and lift up that left knee, the foundational knee. Hold it here, press into the earth, and then let it down. Lift and lower that foundational left knee while pressing into the ball of your right foot. Breathe. Push into the earth. You got it. Let's finish. Have the knees meet. Let the left leg go long. Press into the ball of the foot. We've done this before. You know this. Let's repeat it on this side. Perhaps you draw the right toes towards your shin. Press into your hands. Helps to press a little more into the thumb and the pointer finger, little gecko hands. And then lift and hold. Hold it. Bring it on down and lift and lower and lift and lower that foundational knee. Breathe. You're strong. Don't give up. Maybe you've done it once or twice. Maybe you've done it 10 times. Bring the knee down. Bring your knees together to meet. Find your 2 blocks. Let's do a lunge. Blocks are by your side at a nice high height. You're standing on your knees. Bring your right knee forward. Have the ankle underneath the right knee. Push into the blocks. I like this part. Push into the blocks and send your left leg long. Maybe you slip the towel under your left knee if the knee doesn't feel so great doing this. All right, hands on the blocks. If you'd like, you can press on up, bringing the shoulders more over the hips. How does it feel? Doesn't feel right for everybody? You make it work for you. Breathe. You might want to add in the arms. How would you add in the arms? You could bring them to prayer center and just hang out here. You could add them high up to the sky and lift. You could take a baby back bend, or none of those. You could keep your hands on your blocks. Now let's surf. Right leg extends. Extend the right leg. Bring the bottom back toward the heel, left heel. You can use your blocks to keep the ground up with you so you feel steady. And then surf. Let the right knee come forward to the right ankle and then straighten the leg. So bend and flex the leg. Flex and extend the leg. Walk your hands or your blocks back. Maybe you have a seat on your heels and then forward. Back and forth. Back and forth. All right, you've got a strong core. Maybe you decide to not use the blocks. Maybe you keep your hands at prayer center. Lift out of your strong core and surf. Breathe. Breathe. No problem if you want to use the blocks. No problem if you don't want to use the blocks. Just surf. And then let's finish. Knees meet together on the mat so you're standing on your knees. Reintroduce your blocks. Left leg forward, knee over the ankle for strength and stability. Right leg super long on your mat. Top of the right foot on your mat. Maybe you stay right here. Staying here is great. Don't tell yourself otherwise. Breathe. Lengthen. Hold. You've got it. Maybe today you press up a little bit onto your fingertips. Or higher still, maybe you bring your shoulders back over your hips. Hands can be to prayer center. Maybe arms go up. Maybe a back bend, but you don't have to do any of it. It's your yoga. You do it your way. Remember, peace begins when your expectations end. Thank goodness. All right, I'm going to start to surf. Using the blocks, straighten the left leg and then rebend the left leg. Using the blocks, maybe walk it back farther, then walk them forward. Just move that hip. Breathe. Forward and back with the blocks or without. You decide how you want it to be. After this, we're going to do a boat pose. Your hips are going to feel good with this, right? So we'll do a boat pose. You can use the strap for your boat pose or no strap at all, or you can do it on your forearms. I'm going to do it on my forearms today, something different. Yesterday, we did it without a strap, and we did a full boat. All right, have you surfed enough in that leg to feel even and feel good? All right, let's come on down to our bottoms. You can bring your strap if you want, or no strap at all. I'm going to do boat on my forearms. To do that, I'm on my bottom. I'm going to recline, elbows under shoulders. Breathe. Send your legs long. Press your forearms, which are parallel to each other. Press them into the mat, fingers spread wide. Lift out of your chest and then lift your legs. Maybe you say, I'm going to lift one leg, or I'm going to lift the other, or lift them both together. Lift them up, and hold them at about a 45-degree angle. You can stay on your forearms as you lower, nice and slowly, your legs down to the earth. Heels touch, and then they go back up. Think of them just as floating, suspended in space, right? You could also push up to your forearms and breathe. Breathe. Push up into your hands from your forearms. There we go. Lift and lower and breathe. You could have your strap under your foot the way we sometimes do that. Just work it and have fun with it. All right, let's finish. Legs go long on your mat, toes up toward the sky, seated forward fold. And if you have your strap, you can put it under the center of your foot. Hold onto the strap like reins of a horse and hinge forward. So you're folding in half here. No strap, that's fine, you don't need it. You can bring your hands to your calves, elbows hugged in, fold. Inhale, lengthen up. You'll feel your belly fill with air, pushes you away from your thighs. Exhale, chest toward your knees. Finish up, come on up, shoulders over your hips. Let's do fire log. All right, for fire log, bend your left knee, then bend your right knee. Stack your lower leg, your shins on top of each other. So, very similar to how we began, but shins are stacked kind of right on top of each other. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. How does it feel? And then hinge forward. Hinge forward, you can have a block to bring the ground up to you. Push the block away or no block at all. Just walk your hands forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Big exhale. Let the full exhale intensify the stretch. Finish up. Shoulders over your hips. Let's switch it out. One leg on the bottom that was on the top before, and then switch it. All right, we're not going to be here long. Just try a little bit. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Reach the arms forward with or without the block. Slowly come on back. That's it for your fire log. Nice and peaceful and slow. Maybe tomorrow we'll do it longer so you really get into it. Let's let the legs go. Come on down to your back. Knees are bent. Come all the way down to your back. Let the soles of your feet meet as your elbow or your knees open up. Bring your arms to like a goalpost position, like a goddess pose. Elbows are at shoulder height. Backs of your hands are pressed into the earth. Breathe in, breathe out in your variation of a reclined goddess pose. Take it to what feels good. Big breath in. Big letting it go, breath out. You can stay here if you want. I'm going to press on up, bringing the arms down by my sides, knees together, legs go long. Press on up to a comfortable seated position. What's comfortable? Legs go long. Bring your two blocks with you, wide-legged forward fold. Legs go wide, nice and wide. Blocks between your legs at whatever height you decide. It's your yoga. You can bring your forearms onto your blocks. You can bring your forehead to your blocks. Adjust the height of your blocks. Breathe. You could take your hands to your ankles, your feet, your calves, and open up the legs a little wider. Breathe. Big breath in, big breath out. Adjust the height of your blocks to whatever works today. Your toes, squeeze them, scrunch them, squeeze them, scrunch them. Circle your ankles. Adjust your blocks. And then finish. Come on up. Nice job, you did it. Legs together. Crisscross your ankles. I'm going to bring my right ankle on top of my left. Arms lift high. Exhale, reach forward. Reach, reach, reach. Look down to your knee. Maybe capture your ankles, your calves, and maybe kiss your knee, the one on top, or bring your forehead to it, or close to it. Come on up, shoulders over hips. Uncross your legs. Left leg goes on top. Legs are long. Arms go high. Reach forward. Reach, reach, reach. Stretch it out. Hands capture the legs somewhere. And then work your nose towards your knee and hold it here. Big breath in, big belly, hollowing, breath out. Maybe lets you bring your head closer to your knee. One more time, shoulders over hips, legs go long. Don't quit, don't give up, try. Arms lift, arms reach as you exhale. Just reach really far. Let it go, let the tension go. Hands and arms by your sides. Look to your knees. It doesn't matter how close you are. Close your eyes. Lengthen up through your spine as you inhale. And when you take this exhale, let all the tension in your shoulders go. Let the belly come back to touch the spine. Breathe, fold more forward. Imagine, that's it, do it in your head. Imagine that your nose is touching your knee. Imagine that your nose is just a fraction of an inch from your knee. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold, imagine it. And then come on up. All right, you did it. You did it. Just imagine it, and it'll come. It'll come in time. Let it go. All right, come back down to your back. Bend your knees. Let's do bridge pose. Soles of your feet are on your mat. Heels are right behind your bottom, aligned with your knees. Arms down by your sides. Press on up through your strong feet. Press on up, lift your hips on up. Feels really good after doing boat pose and surfing. Breathe. Press, send more weight into your shoulders. Wiggle your shoulders so that they are underneath your back and you feel like you've created a little shelf for your heart. Send your hips even higher. Arms can be down by your sides, or maybe you find your fingers and interlace them and press your pinky fingers into the mat. Breathe. Now the fun part. It's all fun. Release your hands down by your side. Think of your spine as like a pearl necklace. Lower one pearl at a time, one vertebra at a time, down to your mat. Don't hurry. Let it go. Breathe. Once you come all the way down, release your tailbone to your mat. All right, now you could have your towel nearby because we're going to do a reclined pigeon pose. So for your reclined pigeon, your knees are bent. You're in this good starting position. Lift your right leg up. Place the outside of the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Push the inner right thigh open. Let it feel good. Now to intensify this pose, if it feels better, you can do that with the towel or your interlaced hands. Send the weight out of your left foot. Hug your left knee toward your chest, all the while driving the outside of the right knee toward the bottom of your mat. You can use your towel underneath your knee, low on the hamstring, and pull the knee in with that towel. Keep your shoulders relaxed and feel this intense stretch in your backside. Now you don't have to use the towel. You could use interlaced fingers behind the knee and hug it in. Take it one step further if you like. Maybe you don't like. It's all good. Maybe the towel goes underneath the front of your knee this time and you hug it in even more. If you don't want to use the towel, you could use your interlaced fingers and hug it in even more. Hug it in and hold it here. Breathe. Hug it in a little tighter maybe. Draw the right toes toward your right shin. Hold it tightly here. And then when you're ready, that whole right foot, send it like 4 inches to the left side of your room. Just shifts the feeling in your backside. Finish up whichever variation you were in, bringing both feet back down to your mat like a starting bridge pose. We have the other side to do. Left leg lifts, outside of the left ankle onto the thigh. Hands push the inner left thigh open. Maybe that is where you stay today, and that is great. That is wonderful. Let it be. Breathe. Perhaps, if you like, that right foot that's on the mat, lift it up. Lift it up. Bring it closer to your chest. All the while, the outside of the left knee, drive it toward the bottom of your mat. Just think it through. Breathe. And adjust this right leg. That's your driver. Do you like it closer to your chest, or do you want to put it back down on the mat? It's all good. Either the hands or the towel can go underneath the right leg, right above the back of the right knee. Hug it in, squeeze it in, keep your elbows in too. Keep your shoulders down and away from your ears. Hug it in, let it feel wonderful. Breathe. And you know, if it is a little stressful, and it kind of is, it feels like half pigeon, right? If it's a little stressful, maybe it would help you to breathe out of your mouth a little bit. Let the tension go. You got it. Your body's meant to move this way. All right, you can change it up again by taking the interlaced fingers beneath the right knee, hug it in, squeeze it in. Stay right here. Now the top foot, the left leg, flex the foot so the left toes come toward the shin. So your foot feels nice and flat toward the right side of your room. Hug it in nice and tightly, get that nice tight grip, and then send the left foot a few inches to the right. Breathe, squeeze, stay strong, and hold. Now finish. Left foot comes down, right foot comes down. Walk your feet to the edges of your mat. Toe heel to the edges of your mat. Legs fall to the right as your arms tee out and you look to the left. Knees come up. Exhale, knees fall to the left. And then your gaze goes to the right. Do it a few more times. Up on the inhale, knees come up. Down on the exhale, you look in the opposite direction of which your knees are falling. Back up on the inhale, down on the exhale. That is your reclined deer pose. All right, now we're going to do legs up the wall. But if you want to skip legs up the wall, you can go right into your final Shavasana pose. It's going to be a nice, good, long pose today. I'm going to go to legs up the wall. But wait, 3 ways to do it. If you don't want to scoot over to the wall, you could take a block, come back to bridge-like starting pose, press into your feet and put the block underneath your low back, and then send your legs up to the sky. Adjust the block, move around a little bit till it feels good. You could cover your eyes with your eye shade and stay right here. If you have a chair nearby, something very similar. You could scoot your bottom up next to the chair and place your calves on the seat of the chair. It's all good. I'm going to go to the wall. I'm going to do the full Monty. All right, let's go to the wall. You can bring your eye shade or your towel. Scoot on up. Sherry, this one's for you. All right, one hip up next to the wall. Come to recline on your mat or the ground or whatever and send your legs up. Now your legs aren't at a perfect 90-degree angle. You're a little bit away from the wall. Your tailbone, think of bringing it down. Your tailbone, you know that sensation. When you bring it down, like you did from your bridge pose, bringing the pearl necklace down, you can feel the tailbone on the mat. Let the soles of your feet go up to the sky. Tailbone is down. All right, so this is your legs up the wall. You know this is so good for insomnia, for varicose veins. I think it works for cellulite. And it's good for sleep. It's good for fibromyalgia. It's good for high blood pressure. It's just such a good pose and helps you sleep better at night. All right, legs are lifted. Shoulders are down. Just breathe. Maybe the eyes are covered with your eye shade or your towel, and you're finding peace here. If you really want to get into the peace, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. If it's too much tension on your low back, here's a way you could alleviate that. Bend your knees and have the soles of your feet be on the wall. Maybe that feels better. Remember goddess pose where the soles of the feet met and the knees open to the side of the room? You could take that variation. Maybe you want something a little more active today. Instead of just the straight legs up the wall, you decide. Sometimes we take a tree-like pose in this position. To do that, you'd have one leg straight and bend the other leg, bringing the sole of that foot into the inside of this extended leg, and let the outside of the knee of the bent leg work toward the wall. If you do one side, be sure to give the other side equal time. And so many choices. If you liked that wide-legged seated forward fold today where we had the blocks between our legs, you could do something similar here. You could spread your legs wide on the wall and just rest here. You take the variation that feels good for you. You're going to be here for just a couple minutes. That's kind of nice. Or you could be here longer as you finish up in this pose. So just breathe, knowing that movement is so good for your brain and your body. But it's good for your mind. It's good for your spirits. You feel better when you move. Choose movement. Choose happy, as my friend Lynette says. I choose to be happy. Soft shoulders. Breathe. So many people are so skeptical of yoga and its benefits. They say, oh, I'm not bendy, I'm not twisty, I'm so inflexible. You're not going to get better if you don't try. You've got to try. You've got to move or you won't be able to move. And it's more than working on your body. It's working on your mind and your sense of well-being, and that is so important. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And don't say you can't do all of our practices, because you can. Showing up is doing it. Try. Take a pose to a much lesser percent. Only do 1 repetition on our Tuesday or Saturday vinyasa practice. Don't worry about how it looks. As long as it doesn't hurt, you're moving. And you don't have to do everything at 110%. Trying is effort, and it all pays off. And don't think for a minute that the Thursday and Sunday restorative practice is, quote, just lying around and doing nothing. In a restorative practice, you hold the poses 3 to 5 to even up to 20 minutes if you want. Hold a pose for a really long time. And in that period of time, your mind kind of gets out of the pose, and it just lets your body surrender, taking you to new depths of flexibility. So try it. See what you think. All right, you can stay here longer if you like, but I'm going to give us a little bit of time in a final Shavasana. But if you want to finish up here with your legs up the wall, stay here. It does the body good. I'm going to come off the wall the way I came on, so just letting the legs swing down one side or the other. Come off the wall and come back to the mat if that's what you decide you want to do. All right, I'm going to bring the blocks to the bottom of the mat, and I'm going to elevate my heels today. Just something different. Eye shade, towel, cover your eyes. Arms down by your sides. Wiggle your shoulders, get comfortable here so you're just nestled into your mat. Palms face up. Eyes closed. I've got a couple of minutes here. I'm going to do about 3 minutes. And I'm not going to talk, but I'll let you know when the 3 minutes is up. Breathe deeply and soften everything you've got. I'll let you know when our time is up. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out through your mouth. Sigh it out like how we began. Let it go audibly. Stay here longer if you like. But if it's time for you to conclude your hour, start to wiggle your fingers and toes and move them around in a circle. Arms reach high overhead. Point your toes. Stretch it out like we did in stick pose. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, and roll into a fetal position. Support your head and breathe. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Push on up to a comfortable seated position. What's comfortable after all that work we did with the hips today? What's comfortable for you? Whatever you do, it's good because you're doing. Hands to first center. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Big exhale. Let it go. Blink your eyes open if they're not already open. Stress number. We took it in the beginning. That's our tangible measure of the success of our session. What was it? Now compare it to what it is now. That's the magic of yoga. The process, trust it. Trust the process. How many times do you hear that? Trust the process. It works. Let the magic begin. Let the magic continue in you for the rest of your day. Live this magic off of your mat. From me to you, much love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and, hardest one for me, self-control. Bye, guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Love you. Goodbye. Bye. Hi. How are you? You're a good girl. You were quiet today. Do you want to go shovel snow? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Shoveling snow is good for us. Good girl. I love you. The power of believing in what's possible is the same power to make things change for the better in your life. And your yoga, I hope, is doing that for you. Stick with it. Tell your friends about us. Tell them to watch us on YouTube and Facebook. It'll make them much better friends. It'll make them feel better in their bodies, in their minds, and in their hearts. Yoga is good for you, and you know it. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody. Tell them to check us out. If you'd like to support our broadcast, check out our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stick with it, believe in yourself, and see you on your mats tomorrow.